success is nothing more than a product of the work he puts in. Well, he got to the Garden early.
Can't wait to see how the Cavaliers respond.
Champions do ordinary things better than everybody else does. Do everything that we've set out to do, but everything else will work itself out.
LeBron James got to take the bull by the horns. Look to be aggressive early. He's a different player, and they're a different basketball team when he has that mindset. James falling away, a three. Oh, it's good! LeBron James, 19 points already.
Keep cutting, keep moving, keep making it as tough as possible, keep competing. Here we go.
Tatum gets past Nance. Scoop layup is good. Horford knocks it down. Here comes Rozier, throws it down. This building has exploded. A brilliant second half from the Boston Celtics.
Great comeback. We stuck together and protected home court, what we're supposed to do.
Game 2 is in the books. The Celtics get off to a slow start as LeBron James puts his input on the ball game, scoring 21 of the 27 first-quarter points of the Cavs. Halftime, Brad Stevens says regroup and play harder. After talking to Jason Tatum, play together, play better defense. Can they stick together and take this on the road in a hostile environment for Game 3?
It only gets tougher each game, each series, and especially going on the road. So, I mean, in Philly, we got one in Philly, so that was good. Hopefully we can try to do that in Cleveland.
Philly did a good job. We got to see that firsthand. They fought us every game. Milwaukee was a tough. We went to Milwaukee for 2 games, and they smacked us 2 times. So, you know, those 2 series prepared us really well for what we think we're going to see in Cleveland. And we just got to keep weathering the storm. You know, we got a bunch of young guys, but, you know, that experience we got in those first 2 rounds is, I think, is going to pay off for us really well.
They're playing tougher than we are. We see that. They're being physical. They're gooning the game up, and we got to do the same thing. So we got to be tougher mentally and physically.
How will I digest it? I'm going to go home, see my 3 kids, see my family, recalibrate, see my mom. I think I'll be fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. You know, you go out and when you lay everything on the line, you know, at the end of the day, you can live with that.
I don't think we're naive. I don't think Jason's naive. I don't think Terry's naive. Yeah, we're young, but we know exactly who we're playing. We know exactly, you know, what's at stake, and we know exactly what's on the other side of that fence. So I don't think naive is the right word. You know, we're ready, we're prepared, and we're hungry.
All Boston so far, and guys, the difference in approach of these 2 teams is really striking. LeBron's responsibility is just immense for the Cavaliers, while the Celtics have this really interesting and talented young ensemble cast that is finding ways to attack Cavs defenders when the opportunities present themselves.
Well, first of all, this is a veteran team. These young guys got almost 100 games under their belt, or 100 games. They're ready for this moment right here. And when you watch how they've played all year, and particularly in the playoffs, this Celtics team is a lot smarter than what you think, because we keep talking about Golden State and all these other teams, Houston ISO basketball. When the Boston Celtics get the matchup they want, they are ultra aggressive in attacking that guy. So let's take a look here what the Boston Celtics are doing right now to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, they got the foot speed advantage at every position. Right here, this switch right here with Tristan Thompson, he doesn't square Rozier up and gives up an easy layup. Right here, look at this transition defense right here. Just off the dribble. Look at Jaylen Brown gets down here off the dribble. Where's the help for the Cavaliers? And then right here, this right here just blows my mind. When you have Aaron Baines in the corner as the 3-point shooter that has the guy lifted, and watch Kevin Love here on defense. Right here, when Morris breaks down Tristan Thompson for the layup, Kevin Love doesn't move. So right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, not only are they slower than the Boston Celtics, where are their defensive principles? Look, I know Baines I know he's hit a couple of threes, but really, you're going to hug the 3-point line and you're going to let a guy get to the basket and get a layup? And so right now, when you look at this series, the foot speed, the quickness, and then also just the defensive principles and the defensive awareness between Boston and Cleveland. And if Cleveland can clear that up, we don't know what they can do, but because first 2 games, they've been so bad at it.
Well, timely rest for the Cavaliers, 3 days off before Game 2 on Saturday night. LeBron James put up the 3rd postseason 40-point triple-double in NBA history, and yet didn't necessarily appear to be himself after that injury in the second quarter. How timely is this break for them?
Well, I think it's really significant, obviously, relative to LeBron, but I think for the whole group, I think the word he used was recalibrate.
3 times at least.
I think they're going to need to do that, but I also think you can see the impact here that his injury and that moment had in the game. And Marcus Smart talked about it post-game. He said that they took that as a moment where they recognized they could really push up on the Cavs. And I think after that moment, they smelled blood in the water throughout the entire time, because LeBron was still putting up numbers, but he wasn't facilitating for everybody else at the same rate. And defensively, he was a beat late, and all of their rotations started breaking down. They were making multiple efforts defensively up to that point in the game. And to get outscored 71-47 the rest of the way, the wheels came off entirely. It's very similar, I think, in many ways to what happened with Toronto in that series. When they lost game 1, finding a way to sort of snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, everything unraveled in a negative way. I think you could see that moment in this game, and Marcus admitted they could sense their moment in this game as well.
And the thing about it, Matt, look, when you're switching, you already understand as a defense, you're going to have some mismatches, and you already know the opposing team is going to attack you. Well, the thing you got to do as a defender when you're on that island in a mismatch, you got to force the offensive player one side or the other. You can't give him carte blanche. You got to force him to where your help is. And the guys behind, they got to be screaming which direction to force the guy. So you can get beat if you get beat you push the guy to the right side. The problem with Cleveland right now, on the switches, they're getting beat, and they're getting beat so fast and so quick, the help can't get there. And so they just right now, they got to get back, and they got to get their half-court defense solidified, because if you're going to keep switching, then you already know you're going to have the mismatches, and you know Boston going to attack you.
I think the other thing that really comes into play here, styles make a fight. And in Boston, to your point, they've played several games together, but they've all been raised in that same system. And Brad's system is really all about constancy of mental focus. We are going to do what we do. We're going to execute to excellence every single time. They're not going to be intimidated by Cleveland when things start going really well for Cleveland. They're not going to start to cave. They're going to continue to be about their principles. And when you've got the kind of talent they have now with that mindset, it makes it so that that team, this isn't an upset at this point.
No. It's interesting to hear how many Cavs referenced the Celtics as well coached in post-game comments. It is 2-0 and on 2-0 high-0 as the series moves. Cavs are 5-1 at home this postseason. Game 3 happens Saturday night, then Game 4 on Monday night. Ahead here.